staying with us, we're going to start with the nation. Tinubu, I'm focused on lifting Nigerians to greatness. Southeast Senate caucus renews push for additional ministerial slots. Banks in 400 billion naira recapitalization drive at stock market. Israel lays siege to Gaza. No return to petrol subsidy, says NNPCL. President appoints Feladrote, 4 others as aides. Christmas Day killer cop to die by hanging. Keyamo Airlines must pay compensation for flight delays. Okay, which stories?
I could start with the major headline. So the president reaffirmed yesterday that he is not distracted from the task of putting Nigeria on the path of progress. According to him, he said taking the country to a higher pedestal is his major preoccupation. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made his feelings known in a tweet on his X handle, posted along with his photographs during a meeting with the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume. And the meeting was held at the president's office inside Aso Villa in Abuja. So the tweet reads, all hands must be on deck in the great task of positioning our dear nation for progress. And the president held a meeting with the SGF on government businesses, and the SGF also briefed him on the ministries, departments, and agencies. They say the government has been working hard to provide a revival pill for the economy as a result of the petrol subsidy removal and also the unification of the Naira and dollar exchange rates. Efforts are going to also ensure the implementation of the agreement that they reached with Labour last week, which sort of stopped the strike that was supposed to happen. So the government is committed to the fulfillment of the terms of agreement within 30 days. Also, we're seeing how that is going to play out. They also discussed other issues, including the war that's happening in Palestine right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, that's Festus Keyamo. They said yesterday he said that they will soon compel airlines to pay compensation for delayed and cancelled flights as long as not caused by nature. They said that he was telling the operators of airlines, he says, you have blamed the government and a few things we do, but I also want to say that it's not all the time that it is government. At times you say you were waiting for passengers to finish passing through the screening machines, but many times they would have passed through the screening machines, will be seated at the lounge for over 5 hours, and then you cancel the flights. He says it's because Nigerians are not aware that they are due compensations when you cancel flights like that. But very soon, they will make sure that they start to implement the NCAA Act and they'll be giving them compensation. Maybe it would then help them, do better by Nigerians and make sure that they're not canceling flights anyhow. But he says that the only times that they are not due compensation, that if they can prove, if it's an act of God, so if it's nature, if it's the weather or something like that. But many times we know it's not that way. Too many times Nigerians are sitting at the airport for hours and then you just say, cancelled. Sometimes you just say here cancelled, no explanation, nothing.
Okay, so yesterday at the second edition of the Petroleum and Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengason's Energy and Labour Summit in Abuja, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Corporation Limited, Mele Kyari, was emphatic on the removal of subsidy. He said that it was the most practical thing because if they had not removed it, NNPCL would have been bankrupt by now. Wondering, it's not recently they just made them limited, but then he says that they would never go back to the subsidy era and that very soon they have a projection that by 2024 we'll start to export petroleum products, but there were no specifics because
which product
maybe I didn't read it finish. Bayer is Dangote that we export.
We don't know.
Petroleum products.
But we have to be careful.
Watercourt refinery. I wanted to get over,
Excited.
Oh, can I add a little thing to what you said? All marketers are the ones saying that the fuel subsidy had returned because they were comparing their landing cost to what they had. They said petrol as of last week was landing at 720 per litre. And, it's being sold about 580 to 617. So where are they getting what they are using to cushion between the landing and... So I think there's also has said they are not paying.
They are not paying.
But looking at the numbers, it doesn't align.
But then in the report, it was also talking about 100% production. That was no resource dependent country continues to export 100% of their production outside and all of that. Almost like he's reading a speech. But when you now lift my hope up that 2024, this thing will be over.
We'll see. And also, I don't know. It's very complicated. Let me just go very quickly. The senator representing Enugu Zone, Osita Ngu, has said that the South East Caucus will not relent on its quest for more ministerial slots. According to him, the president may have fulfilled his constitutional requirement by appointing a minister from every single state in the Southeast region. However, the Southeast has the least number of ministers, and they are hoping that they're able to appeal to him to increase the number of ministers in the Southeast. The senator said that the Southeast Caucus has not been comfortable with the 5 ministerial slots, and they've also spoken to the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, who also has waded into the issue, said that he's a man who walks his talk, and they have no doubt that his ability to intervene on this matter, and they're going to make sure that the president actually adjusts this as soon as possible. So we will be patient to know the feedback from the Senate President is going to give us, and we are not going to rest until we get additional ministers from the Southeast. Moving on quickly now to the Punch. Federal government denies subsidy return, more fuel stations shut. Slain lawyer, Lagos NBA welcomes death sentence for killer cop. Concerns as commercial sex workers invade Lagos malls and lure men. For real? Aidatiwa drops suit against Ondo Assembly, says Akeredolu. Domestic airlines demand jet fuel import license, says Forex. And 4 consortia to fix dilapidated pipelines. Okay, which story?
Okay, so they say that concerns are rising as young ladies suspected to be commercial sex workers now loiter around major shopping malls and highbrow streets in Lagos to lure prospective customers. So Punch is saying that they're usually skimpily dressed ladies that position themselves in strategic locations within these malls to lure men. They had like a reporter who went there in, in hiding. How do you say it again? Plain clothes. No, that's for police. Anyway, he goes there under... Yeah. And,
disguise or something.
In disguise, thank you very much. And then he was approached, he said, by 3 ladies, and he found out that there are prices that actually they give you if it's a short time from 15,000 to about 30,000. They also talked to a few people. They have security people who say that they are seeing a lot of things these days, that it's so appalling and it's an eyesore. They do things in the car, that they're... So, of course, the people say that there's nothing they can do, but they're afraid that they would also attract criminal activities. This usually happens at night. Then they interviewed someone who wanted to be anonymous, says, if you're lucky, say, if you can get for 5,000 naira, if there's a downpour. If there's no downpour, definitely, that's a customer. If there's no downpour, it will go as high as 15, but when there's downpour, they don't get customers.
Wow.
So that is a problem, around the malls. Yes.
Okay,
so,
let's go on. Thanks for staying with us. Let me take the story from domestic airline operators of Nigeria have visited the current Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, saying that they're requiring a license for importation and distribution of the aviation fuel, popularly called Jet A1. They're also asking that they should have some kind of a preference in getting Forex for them, because according to them, they're end users, and they urgently need Forex when it's urgently required. Said that the purpose of their visit was to brief the minister about the challenges in the sector and profess solutions, as well as to congratulate him on his new appointment. This was said by the president of the AO, and that's Abdul Munaf Yunusa. Said there's an urgent need to facilitate the liberalization and procurement and distribution of the fuel, to procure requisite license for product importation and distribution. They're also saying that the airline operators were end users and should be granted permission to penetrate the market to source aviation fuel by themselves. I think this is a major issue for them, where they have to depend on federal government for the aviation fuel. But they're saying that they want the license to be able to import and distribute by themselves. So hope that will make things easier for them.
So the lawyer to the deputy governor of Ondo State, who is, of course, the embattled one with the House of Assembly, Mr. Ebun Oluwadeborowa, says that the deputy governor wishes to withdraw the suit that he has filed against the House of Assembly, the Chief Judge of Ondo State, and the IGP and other departments of state services, that is willing to withdraw that suit because the chairman of the APC has set up an NJC to resolve the issues within Ondo State, politically within the APC. And he says that the continuation of that case in court would frustrate that NJC's committee that he has put together. I'm wondering, there are criminal allegations against him. Is the assembly going to just stop investigating, you know, or are they going to proceed, or because they have now tried to settle there now, yeah, close eye, nothing happened, just leave him, let's talk to him, he will never do that again. Is that how
They're going to resolve
Many cases are like that, where you settle out of court. Most cases...
no, but you're investigating criminal allegations, strong ones, amounts that are outrageous. You will call it hard to do, beam. You know, you are investigating such amounts, and you're just going to waive it aside because an NJC has been put together.
That's wrong.
Okay, moving on to Vanguard. Recall of ambassadors, envoy stranded as federal government foot drags on implementation. Israel intensifies attack and forces total blockade of Gaza. Diphtheria, Yobe records 117 deaths, 1,796 suspected cases. How Obasanjo, Soyinka, Akintoye, others secured my release, says Sunday Mowe. Court sentences cop to death for killing Lagos lawyer. Federal subsidy not back, says Kiari. Jakpa FGOK's engagement of retired health workers on contract basis. Worry concert. Davido organizers at war over non-appearance. Okay, which story?
Okay, so Miriam are taking the story of the Jakpa response. So the federal government has decided now, based on what the consequence of our Jakpa doctors, of course, we are short-staffed in our medical sector. And so they've issued a new directive that retired medical practitioners can come back on contract basis to work based on their old positions and salaries. This, of course, is a counter decision to another offer to extend the age of retirement. So they had already discussed the issue of increasing the age of retirement from 60 to 70 and 75 respectively in some sectors, and this was voted against, and they opted for the contract job.
Okay, so the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA, yesterday said no fewer than 117 children died following diphtheria outbreak in Yobe since 2022. They also said that 1,600 other children have recovered from the disease within the period under review. So the executive director of the agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, was one who stated this during an inspection visit to Diphtheria Isolation Center in Potiskum, which is the epicenter of the state. And he said that 1,976 cases of the disease had been reported in Yobe since 2022, November 22, and the disease was more prevalent amongst children 5 to 14 years. And he also says that they've conducted vaccination in Potiskum and 17 other local government areas of the state. And by October 12, more vulnerable kids will be provided with vaccines to help, manage and curtail the disease. And, went ahead to explain that vaccines are powerful, they are safe, and they work. And diphtheria is a disease of ancient times. So with vaccination, deaths are really preventable. And he said the low vaccination was, when they carried out a survey in 2016 and 2017 by the Independent Survey of National Bureau of Statistics, showed that 33% of Nigerians had the vaccination, and they took it up in 2019 to 70% of Nigerians. However, COVID-19 slowed it down, and it went back to about 50-something percent. But now they are reintroducing it again, and hopefully if all those children are vaccinated, that will solve the issue. So they talked about hygiene, how to just take care of yourself so that you don't get diphtheria.
Okay, let me take the major headlines. So about 2 weeks now to the deadline, if you recall, the president had called back all the career and non-career envoys across the globe to come back home. About 300 foreign missions was recalled back in September 2nd, and they had till end of October to return. According to this record in Vanguard, they said that there are no signs that this is going to happen, because according to this report, all the envoys have not received their AIE, which is supposed to be the authority to incur expenditures. That's what they get. Usually it's sent to them ahead of time, where it explains the details of their entitlement of each envoy in terms of their passages and other travel arrangements to return to Nigeria. None of this has been done, and it's just about 2 weeks to October 31st. So they say that there's no machinery has been put in motion to ensure their return back home. So although the president had said it on September 2nd, it's not clear if indeed it will be extended or reversed. But it's interesting that according to the report here, nothing has been done so far to facilitate their return back to Nigeria. That's 300 envoys across the globe that were called home back in September 2nd. Okay, let's see how much time we have left. 3 minutes. Nigerian Tribune. FG no longer paying fuel subsidy carrier firms. Tinubu appoints Dorote 4 others into media advisory team. Ophthalmologist links eating balanced diet to better eye health. Senate President's delegation visits Tribune reporter's widow. ASP Vandi to die by hanging for killing pregnant Lagos lawyer Bolanle Rahim. Impeachment, Abuja court adjourns Aiyedatiwa's case till October 16th. Presidential election report, Wike knocks European Union. And almost 100,000 Nigerian students left for UK universities in 5 years. Igboho reunites with family in Germany. Nigerians grown as cost of 12.5 kg cooking gas rises by 30%.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have the Minister for Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo. He was at the opening ceremony of the 2023 University of Lagos International Week. And at the place, he hinted that over 100 Nigerian students benefit from scholarships for postgraduate and PhD degrees. He also indicated that no fewer than 99,985 Nigerians have left the country to enroll in universities abroad in the United Kingdom between 2017 and 2022. He said that, although he's speaking about students, but we have professionals, hundreds of professionals and entrepreneurs who have left our shores to break new grounds across, our lands. And he says that on our part, we also must ensure that we play our part in the actualization of these people's dreams that have to go out and, break new grounds. And one of the ways that they're doing that is to make sure with the passports, Nigerians should not have to wait forever to get passports. He says that from January next year, it will take you 2 weeks maximum to get your passport. By February, they hope, working with other interrelated agencies, you'll be able to get your passports wherever you are, via courier or anywhere else. You don't have to get to their offices. And then he's also saying that, our students are going abroad, they are making investments abroad as well. And so they're also looking, when it comes to the application processes for visas, they're looking for what he says, like a seamless process where there's a word he used, but he's just saying that they need to give us something for something, so that our students, when we need visas, we're not waiting forever. So he wants to be able to create that system where the foreign country will be able to give our applicants visas without too much hassles. Yeah.
Any other story in Tribune?
Wait for them to
have
send
the
it.
ophthalmologist. So, in commemoration of the World Sight Day, which was yesterday, it's usually done every second Thursday in October. An ophthalmologist, Dr. Aisha Kalambe, who is also the senior consultant ophthalmologist at Sokoro District Hospital, has advised us that eating a balanced diet, is very important to our eyesight. But the World Sight Day was also talking about saving our eyes at work. So depending on the kind of work you do and how you stay away, she talked about incorporating dark green leafy vegetables, spinach, kale, yellow-colored vegetables, carrot, and all of that into our diet, saying that the eye researchers have linked eye-friendly nutrients such as lutein, this is much more vitamin C, vitamin E, zinc, and all of that into, incorporating that into how people have good eyesight. So I'm going to take the advice.
Are they accusing us of not eating balanced diet? So I'm the only one in my house that is eating balanced diet now. Is that what they're saying?
They have not talked
Well,
about
there are different kinds of eye issues.
Yes, but generally.
Right? But I know they say glaucoma is diabetes of the eyes, actually. It's too much sugar in your diet and it's affecting your eyes.
But there are others that
We asked the doctor here last week about that. She didn't mention, she said sugar doesn't really connect to sugar, right?
yeah,
she
she
said
said
no.
yeah. No, she said it doesn't
that.
connect to sugar.
Yeah, she told me that, but hey, listen,
But that's the general.
Depends on where you
Yeah.
That is all we can take on Front Page Review. When we return, we'll bring in a guest from Deal Clenchers, sponsored segment. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.